Hello everyone, Cider Studios here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about something that I never thought I'd actually be talking about for a while. Well, actually, no, I never thought I'd talk about this at all. But then after coming to think about it, I decided, why not talk about this? So, let's talk about this very known channel that I actually knew for a while, but didn't really get much focus on the channel, at least for a long time, until I ended up watching his recent stuff. Well, not his recent stuff, but like recently started watching certain content of his videos, which I'll talk about in separate videos. But in the meantime, this guy is pretty well known for making some cool but very disturbing animations. That, my dear friends, is none other than Lumpy Touch. Now, as I brought up already, Lumpy Touch is known for making some pretty unique, but some very horrific animations at the same time. And I feel like I want to talk about some of the videos that I have watched from his channel before, and basically talk about those said videos. There are other two videos, or other two, like, horrific stuff he made before, but I'll talk about them in separate videos because I think talking about those two stuff will be longer. But I want to talk about the more smaller content he has done before that I still want to discuss about. So, buckle your seatbelts and let's get to the strange, horrific universe of Lumpy Touch, Part 1. I don't know. Let's get started. The first ever video from Lumpy Touch that we're going to discuss about is actually the first ever video that I ever watched from Lumpy Touch's channel. No, I'm not shitting you. This is really the first ever video I have watched from his channel. And that particular video, the first one I watched from his channel, is none other than Lumpy X Cider. Now, as you guys never do, I actually used to play this game back then when I was a kid. But yeah, so Lumpy X Cider, what is it about? Well, let's get started. So Lumpy X Cider, basically what happens in the video is, the game starts off as normal. However, until we get to the track selection, where there's a track that is called Track 666. The player selects Track 666, and normally the background or the level would look, well, colorful in a way. But now we got the more orangey color as usual. However, this time, things take a little bit of a more twisted side of things. First off, the player ends up killing one of the bikers, twice by the way. And it turns, and, you know, things already getting disturbing enough. So eventually we see the player end up, well, the player's character ends up tripping the first time. We ended up seeing some strange white arms slowly approaching the player, but as the player got back on his mic, he continues driving. And then eventually, we even get to see the crowd of people, which aren't actually people. They seem to be very strange humanoid creatures that seem to have white faces instead of human faces like they're supposed to have. They're not exactly normal, they're not exactly regular humans after all. The second and third time we see him trip, we actually see what the creature looked like. A weird, strange white entity crawling after him, which already is very unsettling to begin with. Eventually, we get to the end of the video, where instead of just the game ending normally and going back to the game screen or whatever, instead we get a text that reads, "Not good enough," that also ends up flashing to the screen. And eventually, the white entity that appeared 3 times before actually reveals himself to the player, as he grabs the player's character and ends up ripping the character's limbs off. And just like that, that's when the game over screen shows up, and that's where the video ends. Now, considering that this is really the first video I watched from Lumpy Touch's channel, this was definitely pretty disturbing, as it takes the more innocent side of Excitedbyte and decides to twist it into a more darker side. Obviously, there are other videos that Lumpy Touch made that are just like this too. This isn't the first time that Lumpy Touch made a video where it's about a very nice and innocent video game and decides to give it a more sick, twisted creepiness to it. But anyways, now we get to the next video, which I will discuss here right now. And this next video where I'll be talking about is quite sad if you really think about it. Next Lumpy Touch video we'll be talking about is Duck Hunt, or Lumpy Duck Hunt. Now this one is also disturbing, but also quite sad at the same time. The video starts off with the guy himself hunting down the ducks as usual. But this time, things take a twisted turn, as we end up seeing what is revealed to be a dead corpse of the dog itself. And the dog was supposed to be dead. But then after the man notices, he pulled out a picture of the dog, and then we get flashbacks of other photos about the dog. And then we get the last flashback photo, which shows that the dog is getting older. And after the flashbacks ends, the guy himself ends up getting a little pretty angry and goes that "you are not my dog." However, as he was about to shoot the skeletal undead dog, the dog ends up appearing in front of him as the screen goes black, as all you can hear is a very dead, angry bark. This video is also quite sad if you really think about it. Despite its creepiness, it's really sad, because considering what actually happened, the duck hunt dog most likely would have died from old age, but turns out as time goes on, the dog has came back to, I guess, hunt down the owner. Then again, it died at old age, so it's probably come back to life as an undead just to see its owner again. But as the owner is now thinking that it's no longer his anymore and he tried to kill it, the dog must have thought that it's time to strike back. That is my theory for this video at least. But we can clearly tell what happened to the dog in this video, considering the last flashback where it shows it getting older. So yeah, it definitely died from old age. Like I said, this one's quite sad because we know exactly what has happened already. Anyways, now that I discussed about this video, let's enter the last and my favorite one of them all. This video is actually a two-parter video, so this is going to be a longer talk about this amazing video that I like so much. Lumpy Super Mario Land. The video starts off normal. The game starts as normal until you see a strange black thing poke out the pipe. Mario, curious as always, goes into the pipe as he ends up in some kind of, well, underground obviously. Mario moves forward with no enemies to worry about until he stumbles upon a sign that says, "Follow the sweet smell." After reading this, Mario continues forward, only to realize that he is now in some kind of, well, temple. Still no enemies around, Mario continues forward until he ends up stumbling upon another message on the wall that says, "She lives in the pipes." After reading this, Mario continues forward until until he ends up discovering a toad covered up inside of a tree, or coiled up in a tree. After witnessing the tragedy, Mario continues forward with he is now in some kind of creepy plant-like area, until he actually stumbles upon Princess Daisy herself. When we thought that, he came here to rescue her, until the screen changes as it shows the text Daisy 3 times, as it shows a picture of Mario as his eyes turn pitch black as flowers grow out of his eyes. Then after that, we see a flashing, flickering moment where Mario is in the air with Daisy, flickering into, well, Mario with some freaky monster and some kind of creepy forest-like environment or something. And that's pretty much how part 1 of the video ends. We then get to part 2 of the video, where Mario wakes up in the area he was at before, assuming that it was all a dream. We get to the bonus stage where Mario ends up going for a mushroom and eating it. However, Mario ends up vomiting it out, along with the screen going black and a text reading, "I don't feel so good," pops up. We then cut to Mario being in a desert, eventually going to a village. As Mario approaches a village, he is not feeling good still. Eventually, Mario collapses on the floor and passes out. Later on, Mario wakes up in a hospital as Toad approaches him, knowing that he is awake. Mario even brought up that he had a dream as a Toad asked him what it was about. He explains what a dream is all about. Mario woke up in the dream where he hears some kind of weird, strange forest, where the sun is still up. Despite being extremely bright, the entire area is really, really dark. Eventually, Mario approaches some weird structure which resembles his face with plants growing out of his eyes and such. Mario enters his face, now inside a strange structure. As he continues forwards, Mario encounters what seems to be a very strange plant fetus-like monster with a crown on top of his head. We then cut to Mario's face, whose eyes turn black, as black stuff began dripping out of his eyes and his mouth. And that was the entire dream. As Mario even asked himself, or most likely to Toad, what does this dream mean? And then it turns out the Toad said that this is great news. Mario, rightfully disturbed about this response, grabs the doctor's note away from the Toad and looks at it, and it turns out Toad drew some kind of weird, strange picture. Mario looks back at the Toad, which Toad transforms into some strange plant monster. And it turns out the Toad tells Mario that he has been chosen, and God is inside of him. Toad attacked Mario, but Mario defended himself by jumping and landing on him. And Toad's response to him getting stepped on by Mario basically says how it feels so good to be stepped on by the vessel of God. Eventually, he ends up dying. Mario leaves the hospital as he is surrounded by plant monster Toads as he runs away from the village immediately, now being hunted down by these angry monstrosities of plant monsters. Mario is now aware that he is on the run now and he's being hunted down by whatever those monsters are. Only time will tell what will happen next, because unfortunately there is no part 3 of this video. This is actually how the whole thing ends. Now, I could just end the video here, but fuck it. Why don't we talk about 2 more, huh? We're gonna go with these videos real quick though, just for the sake to end this video. First off, we got a normal Sonic video where basically you just help Sonic with some simple task. Until you get to the last one, we have to feed him a bug as he really freaking bites the hand's fingers off. And as it shows him eating both the fingers and the bug. I mean, as however it sounds, this was clearly made just for laughs. Definitely one of those more stupid like videos like you say so. Then we got, well, Among Us Game Boy, which is Among Us, but in the Game Boy. We done? Good. Now, aside from the last 2 videos I just discussed about very quickly just for shits and giggles, all seriousness though, these Lumpy Touch videos, these dark and mysterious and creepy ones he created, are very unique and fantastic in their own ways. My favorite obviously being the Super Mario Land one. And they are definitely pretty good. I will discuss more about some other things that he also created as well, but those will be on separate videos. But as of right now, I definitely enjoy these videos. They're basically kind of like your typical creepypasta sort of videos, but created in such a unique environment, just like how other people can do this. Anyways, that's all I gotta say for this video. You guys enjoy this, make sure to leave a like, whatever you guys want, I guess. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and if you want to see more, then don't worry. There's plenty of more videos I uploaded here for you guys to see. And as always, I'll see you all next time.